Is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 5. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, first up at 5, Orange County health officials right now getting ready, planning to update us on the coronavirus's impact right here in Central Florida. They're going to be holding a news conference in just a few minutes. Good evening. I'm Martha Sagowski.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. We do know that there are now 9 cases of COVID-19, the coronavirus, tied to the Sunshine State, but not all of those who have been infected are here in Florida. At least one major convention we also learned today has canceled in Orlando because of the illness and not spreading any potential viruses to people coming or those going to the convention. Let's bring in Channel 9's Megan Cruz. She is live inside the Orange County Administration Center for us. And Megan, this is the second news conference on the coronavirus from Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings so far this week. We brought the last one to our viewers yesterday, and today we'll bring that one to them live as well. What are you hearing about what he will say today?
So I was just handed actually this piece of paper, and it's a list of all the speakers we're expected to hear from during today's update. So we have, of course, Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings. We also have somebody from the Florida Department of Health, the health officer, Dr. Raul Pino. We also have someone from emergency medicine at Orlando Health, someone from the Orange County Director of Health Services, and then the Executive Director of the Convention Center. So again, a mix of people across the county who will update us on what is going on with the preparedness, what actions they're taking because of this coronavirus. So I'm actually going to have us pan over here to the side. These are all the people we are expecting to be able to answer some questions for us. Again, this is an update, the second this week, about what's going on here in the county. It looks like they are getting ready to start here in a few moments. At first, they said maybe 5:15, but they are pushing for as close to 5 o'clock as a start as possible. But the last time we heard from them on Monday, we heard about the impacts it had to tourism. As you said, we just reported that the first big convention was canceled because of this illness. So maybe we will, of course, get an update from tourism here as well. Also, an update on the numbers. We know at last check that 30 people had to be monitored because they recently traveled to the affected areas, and we know that 10 people were tested. Of course, those people were, those results came back negative. So those are the things we're expecting to hear from today. We also, on Monday, heard from Orange County Fire Rescue, and I do see the chief here again. They told us they are very prepared. They have things for their first responders, and they know what to do in case they would have to deal with the coronavirus here in our county. So again, these are things that we're hoping to hear more from. But for now, we're going to send it back to you until this press conference begins.
All right, this is going to be some good information. We'll pass that along. To put things in perspective, Orlando and Central Florida receive 75 million travelers, #1 tourist destination in the world, so a lot of things working together, and we'll hear from the news conference officials in just a moment live here on Channel 9. Meantime, Governor Ron DeSantis says today's latest Florida case is a man in his 70s in Santa Rosa County who has been traveling abroad and has underlying health conditions.
It has not been confirmed by the CDC, but I think we're at the point now where with the local testing, we're highly confident that that's going to be verified. And
if this case is in fact confirmed, it will be the 4th person being treated for the virus here in Florida. Health officials say 5 Florida residents who tested positive are being treated outside of Florida in Washington state. Again, that brings the total to possibly 9 Floridians. This afternoon, Congress quickly approved an $8.3 billion emergency measure to help battle coronavirus.
Having been achieved, the bill is passed.
That was the moment the bill passed in the Senate earlier today. Of course, bipartisan support. The newly approved money more than triples the $2.5 billion announced by the White House 10 days ago. The funds will pay for several measures to help fight the spread of the virus federally and locally as well, and ease fears in the financial markets hopefully as well. The bill now heads to the White House for President Trump's expected signature.
Now, the health department in Orange County has fielded dozens of questions about the new coronavirus over the past 3 days. Here's a look inside the call center that opened up on Tuesday afternoon. Operators had taken about 70 calls as of this morning. Most of the questions are related to safety, precautions, or travel. Now, the number for Orange County, their call center is 407-723-5004. It is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. You can find that information along with a whole host of resources at WFTV.com/coronavirus. Meanwhile, first responders are sounding the alarm that they may not have the gear they need to protect themselves from the coronavirus. Firefighting groups in the nation's capital told Channel 9's Washington correspondent Blair Miller what they're missing.
This right here is some of the gear that firefighters would wear if they get a call for coronavirus. But the concern is there isn't enough. As first responders get more and more calls about coronavirus, there are serious concerns among the ranks on how they respond.
We are very, very concerned.
Patrick Morrison with the International Association of Firefighters says they're telling fire departments across the country to take inventory of their gear.
What we are hearing from our members around the country is that we do not have enough supplies.
These supplies, masks, protective suits, and gloves. While interviewing Morrison today, he got word that at least 40 firefighters nationwide are in quarantine as a result of coronavirus calls. Firefighters in D.C. are hoping Congress's funding plan will cover more gear and quickly.
When that member of our community, that resident of our community calls 911, they want to ensure that we are delivering a service. But we need to ensure that we are protected first.
They're also trying to expand changes at 911 call centers nationwide, having dispatchers not only ask callers if they've traveled overseas, but if they're having flu-like symptoms. The goal is to get as much information up front so that rescuers have what they need to save people, including themselves.
We want to protect them because they are going home and they're worried about their families. They're worried about their kids at home.
And if funding is an issue to get equipment like this, fire departments across the country are encouraged to get in touch with their local and state governments. In Washington, Blair Miller, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Blair, thank you. That's important to note. On the federal level, what about locally? That news conference about to start with Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings.
And we're going to go to him now at the Orange County health officials also speaking. Right now, they are introducing who will be coming to the podium to speak. We know that we're expecting Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings to kick things off.
Will give us an update now on the briefing that he had with all the constitutional officers and others regarding the coronavirus here locally. Mayor Demings.
All right. Thank you. Let me first begin by saying I appreciate the media being here to receive this update. We will give you an update on the current state of affairs regarding COVID-19, the coronavirus here within Orange County. We want our residents to be reassured that they will be fully informed about what is happening here in Orange County. Let me emphasize that we remain at a low risk of a major outbreak of the COVID-19 virus in our community. We invite families and others to consider vacationing here, especially during spring break. We are still open for business here in Orange County. Just a few moments ago, we concluded a meeting amongst the department heads within Orange County as well as our constitutional officers to make certain that we are as well prepared as possible to keep our community safe if we see any type of outbreak here in the community. It is important to note that there are no known coronavirus cases in Orange County, and that's really good news for us. In the entire state of Florida, there are only 4 cases of residents who have tested positive. The latest case in St. Rosa County involves a man who is in his 70s. St. Rosa County, of course, is north of us in the Panhandle. On Monday, we told you that the Tampa Bay area had residents who tested positive, and a Manatee County resident also has since tested positive. When we look at the economic impact of what is occurring, not just here, but across the country, we have not gone unscathed in that process. At our convention center, one major conference was canceled today. The Health Information Management System Society, or HIMSS, informed us that their global health conference has been called off. This is a huge hit, really, to Orange County and the Convention Center. HIMSS was expected to draw 43,000 attendees. The HIMSS conference would have meant 94,530 room nights for our hotels, and its economic impact would have been $113 million. Earlier in the week, the software company Ellucian, with 8,500 attendees, canceled a show here at the Convention Center. The Minecraft Festival with 15,000 attendees also canceled an event. We believe that most of this was the result of the coronavirus outbreak. When we look at the two, Ellucian and Minecraft, that alone was $41 million. So if you do the math, we lost roughly $154 million in potential economic impact just this week alone. But there's more good news, because our leisure travelers continue to come to Orange County to enjoy our theme parks and all that we have to offer. Visit Orlando reports that the virus had no impact on leisure travel. As far as international travel, if you look at visitors from China, South Korea, Italy, and Japan, countries where there have been cases of coronavirus, it represents only 0.3% of the 75 million visitors who come to Orange County. Again, that's 0.3%, 0.3%. We want to emphasize in Orange County, we are open for business, and the risk, again, remains low for our community. We want to keep emphasizing that while the coronavirus moves at a fast pace, we are remaining calm in this community and have been working with our partners at the Florida Department of Health. I will also tell you that we're taking measured approaches here within Orange County. A directive will go out this afternoon to all county employees that we are canceling travel for employees on county business into the high-risk areas. I think it makes sense, especially with our first responders, that we don't send them on government business into high-risk areas. So we are canceling travel there. In terms of our other county employees who will travel for personal reasons, if they go into the high-risk areas, we're going to give them directions. In terms of returning to work, we want to ensure that our workspace continues to be a safe place for us to deliver services to our community. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Pino to come forward and provide an update to you from the Department of Health. Dr. Pino.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. As the Mayor said, our risks continue to be very low. From a public health standpoint of view, we don't foresee today, under the current conditions, to have any concerns for our community. We continue to prepare, and we are moving under the direction of the State Health Department, our Surgeon General, to a new phase, and we will be ready soon to expand testing into our community to people in need to be tested. Those will be the next steps for us to take. As we test more individuals, there is a possibility that we could find a positive case in our community, and for that we are also ready. We have trained for this and prepared for this through the many epidemics that we have in the past. I would like to remind the public that we dealt with Ebola, we dealt with MERS, we dealt with SARS, and we were always prepared and always find a solution for the problems that have faced us. In this new phase, what is concerning to the community and also to us is that we don't know everything about the virus. But not knowing doesn't mean that we are not prepared to intervene, to extract individuals from communities or hotels that need to be isolated, and also to have all the measurements in place to protect the public at large. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Yolanda Martinez, who is the Director of our Health Services, to come forward.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. I just wanted to give a brief update from the Health Services Department at Orange County Government and put everybody at ease, just as the Mayor and Dr. Pino has been saying, that we have been working on this through the Health Services Department and our Emergency Medical Services. Dr. Suber, our Emergency Medical Director, has been since early January in conversation with the hospitals and other community partners to make sure that we are prepared to address any cases in our community, whether from travelers through the health department and or residents. So we want to make everybody assured and confident that we are working on this and we're making sure that the health of the community is safe. One of the things we want to remind everybody is about safe distancing. If you encounter an individual that has symptoms of the flu, please keep your distance from that person, and that person the same if you don't feel well, if you feel sick. Do not come come too close to other individuals. Make sure you engage in good hygiene by washing your hands at least 20 seconds and rinsing them well and then drying them well. And if you feel that you do have the flu, contact your medical provider before you head to their office and or to the hospital. It's always better to try to treat it at home. So stay home if you feel sick, unless you feel that you do need medical attention. And those are some of the comments that we wanted to share. We've been working, as Dr. Pino and the mayor mentioned, with the health department. The health department is leading the role in the county to make sure that they identify individuals that might come down with COVID-19. Thank you.
Okay, as you can see, this is really a team effort here. While we don't have any cases now within Orange County, we really endeavor to keep it that way. And by working across the spectrum here in the public sector, we're able to hopefully deliver on that. At this time, I will open it up to any questions that the media may have. At this time, if there are any questions, we'll respond to them. Okay, the question is, are we monitoring any additional people within Orange County? Dr. Pino is best to handle that.
So the numbers have not changed. It continued to be very low. The state also have put up in their webpage for the health department, it has a total count for the state, the number of residents from Florida that has been diagnosed, and also the number of residents of Florida that are being diagnosed out of Florida. We have a couple of residents that are in one of the affected states. And it also had the number of people who have been tested and the pending number of tests. But our number have not changed, they remain very low.
How many are we currently monitoring now?
Because the numbers are so low, we are now in no position to disclose those numbers for fear of interfering with people's privacy. So with that, but that remains very similar.
How soon could we see CDC test kits here?
So I need to clarify that. So there are two components to any test. When the sample is collected, and we have that, we are ready to do that if we need to. And then the reactive agents that are used by the labs to prepare the samples. Those are the ones that the CDC is distributing around the nation. I don't have information on that, but it is expected, for what I read in the national news, that in a few weeks, tests will be available in commercial labs as well.
At this point, those are the only ones that have made that final decision, but we'll be monitoring this, obviously. I believe that one of the motivating factors for those which have canceled is, especially those who are associated with the healthcare industry, they believe that they're on the front line, and they are certainly very pivotal to our potential response as a nation and really globally to the COVID-19 virus itself. And so they believe that they were at a disproportionate risk. And so I certainly understand that, which is part of the reason why we have said that internal to the county, we are canceling any travel for our employees who will be traveling on business to any of those high-risk areas, especially the first responders. We're
going to continue to monitor this important news conference happening. Again, the Orange County update on coronavirus. What we can tell you is that Orange County open for business. That was said twice by Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings, although he did admit that the business has been impacted to the tune of $154 million, with 3 conventions that have been canceled because of, quite possibly, he doesn't know for sure, but obviously quite possibly because of the coronavirus. And again, the HIMSS conference is the biggest of all of those. That's actually a health conference.
First time it's been canceled in 50 years, that conference.
Yeah, 43,000 people. And in terms of the loss of nights in the hotels, 950 to 1,000 nights, depending on the math, and $113 million. Anyway, there is a huge economic impact, but it sounds as though they feel, in terms of the number of people that have been impacted directly, Orange County and Central Florida residents, that number is still very low.
And they are continuing to monitor a low amount of people here for coronavirus across the state of Florida. But again, the theme here is from our Orange County health officials and local leaders is that they have this under control. They're monitoring a small amount of people throughout the state. But the big headline is the economic impact that this is having for Central Florida. The Mayor Demings coming out saying, hey, Orange County is open for business. We are losing business right now, but we're fine. They're encouraging people to continue to come here and travel and obviously spend the dollars here in Central Florida. Again, we're going to monitor that news conference. We have Channel 9 crews there getting more information, and we're going to turn that around for you. But tonight, we want to let you know we're going to be here to answer any of your questions and give you the accurate information you need. We've assembled a team of medical experts and local government leaders to help keep your family safe and prepared. Send us your questions now through social media and our radio partner, News 96.5 WDBO, Coronavirus. Your questions answered live tonight at 8 here on Channel 9. It's also going to be streaming at WFTV.com, and we'll be back right after this.